Our phones ticking time bombs? We love our phones, don't we? They're our constant companions. But what if I told you these marvels could be turned into dangerous weapons? Phones exploding remotely sounds like a movie, but the threat is real. Cyber threats make our phones vulnerable to serious attacks. We're talking about actual physical harm. So buckle up, Buttercup, because things are about to get explosively informative. The idea of a phone exploding might sound like a cheesy action flick, but it's not entirely far-fetched. We're talking about deliberate attacks by hackers exploiting vulnerabilities. Hackers are like digital pickpockets, trying to get into your phone. They can cause your phone to overheat, malfunction, or even explode. These attacks are rare, but it's important to understand the risks. One of the sneakiest ways hackers can target your phone is through malware. Think of malware as the digital equivalent of a Trojan horse. It disguises itself as something harmless, like a fun game or a useful app. But once you invite it in, it starts wreaking havoc behind the scenes. Malware can infiltrate your phone in a number of ways. You might accidentally download it by clicking on a dodgy link in a phishing email or by installing apps from shady third-party app stores. Once it's in, malware can do all sorts of nasty things. It can steal your personal information, spy on your every move, and even take control of your phone's functions, including the battery. Now here's where things get really hairy. Some types of malware are designed to specifically target your phone's battery management system. They can mess with the charging process, causing your phone to overheat and potentially leading to a dangerous situation. Imagine your phone turning into a hot potato in your pocket. Not exactly the kind of warmth you're looking for. Let's talk about batteries for a second. Those little powerhouses that keep our phones running are actually quite volatile. They contain flammable electrolytes and generate a fair amount of heat, especially when charging. Now imagine a hacker messing around with your phone's battery management system. They could potentially override safety protocols, forcing your phone to charge too quickly or to a higher voltage than it can handle. Think of it like pumping too much air into a balloon. Eventually, something's got to give. In the case of your phone, that give could be an explosion. Now, phone manufacturers are well aware of the potential dangers of batteries and have implemented safety measures to prevent these kinds of scenarios. But hackers are crafty, and they're always finding new ways to exploit vulnerabilities. So while the risk of your phone exploding due to a battery hack might be relatively low, it's not something to be taken lightly. Section 5. When phones go boom, real-life explosions. Okay, time for some real talk. While phone explosions are relatively rare, they do happen. Remember the Samsung Galaxy Note 7 fiasco a few years back? Those phones had a nasty habit of catching fire, leading to widespread recalls and a whole lot of red faces at Samsung headquarters. While those incidents were attributed to a design flaw rather than hacking, they highlighted the very real dangers of lithium-ion batteries. And in a world where hackers are constantly pushing the boundaries, it's not a stretch to imagine them targeting this vulnerability. There have been reports of phones exploding after being infected with malware, although it's often difficult to pinpoint the exact cause. Was it a faulty battery, a software glitch, or the malicious handiwork of a hacker? It's a bit of a chicken or the egg scenario. But one thing's for sure, the possibility of a phone explosion is not just the stuff of urban legends. Section 6. The fallout. More than just a broken phone. Okay, so let's say the worst case scenario happens, and your phone goes boom. What then? Well, for starters, you're probably going to have a pretty bad day. Depending on the severity of the explosion, you could be looking at anything from minor burns to serious injuries. And let's not forget about the potential damage to your property. A phone exploding in your pocket is one thing, but imagine it happening in your bed while you're sleeping. Not exactly a recipe for a good night's rest. But the fallout from a phone explosion goes beyond physical harm. Remember all that personal data stored on your phone? Your contacts, your photos, your browsing history, all of it could be compromised. And if the hackers managed to install spyware on your phone before it went kaput, They might still be able to access your information even after the explosion. Section 7. Shielding your device. Practical protection tips. Alright, enough with the doom and gloom. Let's talk about how you can protect yourself from becoming a statistic in the annals of phone explosions. The good news is that there are some simple steps you can take to minimize the risk. First and foremost, always keep your phone software up to date. Those updates aren't just about getting the latest emojis or fancy new features. They often contain important security patches that address known vulnerabilities. Think of it like locking your doors and windows at night. It doesn't guarantee that a burglar won't find a way in, but it makes it a whole lot harder for them. Next up, be wary of suspicious links and attachments. If you receive an email or text message from an unknown sender, don't click on anything. It could be a phishing attempt designed to trick you into downloading malware. Section 8. Stay aware, stay safe, and don't forget to subscribe. So there you have it, folks. A crash course in the world of phone explosions. It's a scary thought, but by staying informed and taking some basic precautions, you can significantly reduce the risk. Remember, knowledge is power, and in the digital age, that power is more important than ever. Stay vigilant, stay safe, and maybe invest in a good phone case, just in case. And while you're at it, why not subscribe to After 12 a.m. for more insightful and entertaining deep dives into the weird and wonderful world of technology? Because let's face it, the truth is often stranger and more explosive than fiction.